Alright. We're back. Last time I went through the castle, made it to Janos. He revealed a bunch of stuff I was talking about in the last episode. About, the Soul Reaver essentially being like a 10th pillar and him being the guardian of it, and how it all leads back to Raziel. And then Raziel realized that Mobius sent him here on purpose so the Seraphant could follow his footsteps and get up to Janos. And then Janos locked us behind a door to keep us safe. And he went off trying to fight everybody. Now we're in like a puzzle room. We gotta get out to try and get back there and save him. It's a real, it's a weird thing because you would feel like, you're crunched for time and you gotta figure everything out fast, but knowing me and just puzzles in this game in general, we're gonna be here for a while. The idea that he's just fighting off those dudes in the meantime. It's pretty funny. Whoa. I'm sick. There's nothing back here. This is just the way out, yeah. Alright. We don't have any element. I guess we just have to jump down. Wow, so if you didn't save and you just fell down, dude, you're screwed. Just do anything? Yeah, okay. I guess we just jump down. Whoosh. Okay. Got a lot of high beam platforms with elements on them. I did see like an air thing on one of these pillars, like a vent. Potentially all of them have vents. You have to fly across as an end goal to up there. Here we got blood. Blub, blub, blub. What we got here? A fire pot. Can I do anything with this? It's got a symbol. No. What is this? Stoke the flame. Perhaps I could catch fire. Cutscene. I see. Timer. Okay. Let's try it again. Ooh, I'll take it. What happened to the fire? Alright. Try it again. Can I make that jump? Yes. Okay. But now it's underwater. Light is on top, so we can get light. What would we do with light? I think there's a crystal thing on the ceiling. Touch that. Wow, the fire's still... You see that down there? The fire's still up. Oh, you can't see. My head's blocking. There. Fire's still lit under the blood pool. Okay. I have a light. Only thing I could think of is that crystal up there. Oh, not better. What does this do? Ah, drains. Okay, sick. So now I can pick up this. That's fine. If this fades, the pool rises back. Let's activate these. Oh, all three at once. Nice. Okay. Now I need to get the fire from here. And then I just fly up. Okay. Pretty good so far. Okay. Trying to figure out what the end goal would be here on this one, huh? Because you can drain it. It's fine. Oh, what if the fire's out now? And the idea is we drain it, and then we get all the fires lit up. Potential. Let's see. Let's see if I light this first, if anything happens. No. Okay. So maybe I drain it. Maybe the end goal is all of them have to be lit up at the same time. One down there. That one is lit. It's lit, fam. I can't see that one. What is that? There's two little paths down there. Is that an actual thing? Maybe not. It's on a timer. Good to know. But I guess if I'm right in that we need all of them lit up, I don't think we would need to go back up there. that's not it. Or maybe the puzzle's done. Whoa. What is happening? What is over here? What is this? There's one there. Let me check out the doors and stuff. Let's see if the puzzle's actually complete. You, sir. Okay. Let's take a look at the room and its arrangement. This is the only thing we can't do for sure. It has to do with draining. All these air vents are up. All the fires are up. What more is there to do? Should I go for a swim in the blood? See if anything is going on down there. Could I light this on fire? Maybe. Maybe I grab that torch at the end and fly back to the beginning and light this little platform thing on fire. I think so, huh? Because we know you need to drain the water because they give us light on purpose. So, and draining the blood seems, the only purpose really seems to be to unlock those air vents. So let's give it a shot. Crap. Okay. Yeah. Not bad, not bad. Is that it? Okay. So I guess it kind of works with what I was saying. It would be weird if it was like a really long dragged puzzle. Because based on the story, you know, Raziel would be needing to rush through this. So they make it a short puzzle instead. I assume the puzzle's over. Remember what I said about the last episode? If his sword turns red, like what we saw in Soul Reaver 1 in the time stream, that means this is still, we're on a destined path. I think Raziel has to hold onto that physical Soul Reaver and not let go of it to truly, like, start breaking free. Because he's not there today. Throw this torch, what are you doing? That's my theory on this right now. It's all coming together though, like, it's clear with Janos's explanation and everything. It's the Soul Reaver is the way to rewrite history, to change the way time flows.
Plunge the Reaver into that furnace and forge the blade with elemental fire. With the Reaver thus imbued, I was now armed to unlock the elemental barrier and rescue Janos from his executioners.
Yep. Okay. Nice. But yeah. So that's what I think. I think we are still on a destined path. And it's becoming a lot more clear what Kain and Janos expect out of Raziel. You know, like what his call to action truly is. How he's the hero of this story. You know, him being the only one that can really use the Soul Reaver to its full potential. Which is, he just has to do it now, though. We gotta get back to the Soul Reaver. So we could restore Nosgoth and not annihilate vampires. They have it pinned down. Oh! 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 And there is the heart.
Look at his black heart. How it still beats.
It's freaking you. Oh. That, I did not expect that.
The fiend intends to bury us alive. Raziel, we must get out of here.
That's all the brothers too.
Remember the sword.
Ho 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 ho, snap.
Forgive me. I'm sorry. I failed you.
No, Razia. Perhaps this was my true purpose. Simply to save your life this once.
While I have taken yours.
Embrace your destiny, Razia. You must reclaim the Reaver. It was forged for you and you alone. Without it, there is no hope.
What do they want him to do? To change the past, to change the events.
As I backed away from Janos's body, I was overwhelmed by a sense of self-loathing so deep, I could barely contain it. In that instant, I rejected all that I ever was, and embraced the role Janos had safeguarded for me so patiently throughout the centuries. I knew then what I had to do, the task for which I was uniquely prepared. I would pursue the Sarafan dogs to their loathsome fortress and avenge Janos Ordrin's murder. Mobius would pay dearly for his treachery, and my Sarafan brethren would reap the horrors they had sown. I would retake the stolen Reaver which was rightfully
Oh, there
mine.
it is.
And finally, when all these debts had been paid,
I think that's
I
exactly.
would reclaim Janos Ordrin's heart from their filthy, unworthy hands. If the heart was truly imbued with the power to restore vampiric unlife, its highest purpose was clear to me. I would restore the heart to Janos, and thus undo the vile crime committed by my abominable former self.
Whoa. Go back to the fortress. Now we go to the fortress. I remember when they meet me when I went there first. Ah, boy. That's why there was a cutscene for the fortress that tricked me last time. So you needed to go back there with fire.
We've been expecting you, little Raziel.
So, these demonic pests were not merely the product of Nosgoth's corrupted future, for here they were, hurtling back over 5 centuries to pursue me. These creatures, I suspected, were minions of the unseen forces that had hoped to control me.
Yeah.
This was the tangible expression of their displeasure. These demons were unleashed as the penalty for my disobedience.
That's what I figured. It's like the Timestream's doing. It's trying to stop you from messing with it. Let's go. Back to where it all began. Or I'm just gonna use the Soul Reaver to kind of annihilate everybody. More. Because I can't really pick up weapons here. I don't see any weapons.
You really think you can say Nosgoth? Let me enlighten you, poor Raziel.
Oh, that is so cheap. I don't see any weapons. Let's just melee him. Second. Oh god, second get some health back. Cross up. Yes. Do you have any weapons? Nah, you ain't got crap. And you know, I was thinking about it the other day. One of the things that I really like about this game that I feel like might get slept under is Kain. Kain's character. Because the more you understand, like, how the story is pretty much built around Raziel and not Kain, the more you realize how, like, Kain straight up decided to take the back seat, swallow his pride, and let Raziel take the lead, pave the way for Raziel to be the hero of the story.
The savior of Nosgoth.
Reminds me a lot of like the ending of Assassin's Creed Revelation, where Ezio starts speaking directly to Desmond as he realizes he's kind of just a pawn in the whole grand scheme of things. It's a really cool moment. But Kain, you know, doing the exact same thing for Raziel and paving his way. And also just figuring out in the first place that, like, it's not as clear cut as, you know, kill yourself, restore the pillars, don't, and Nosgoth dies. He is like open-mindedness and willing to like question everything that is for himself before like just blindly following along. Also a really cool trait of a character. And like, I don't know, I feel like it's something that could easily just get ignored or not paid attention to as much just because, you know, this is Raziel's story. He's the main point here. So more people are just concerned with him and not Kain's involvement in this whole thing. Raziel obviously has a big part of this. I'm gonna actually kill you with the blade and kill the dude. So, I can steal the soul heal. Ow. I cannot see this coming. Damn, you got me. Ah. Oh my god. Dicey there. But yeah, like, obviously, you know, seeing Raziel's growth, and like understanding his position and seeing him slowly also get developed to that open-mindedness of like Kain. Instead of just being like, I want revenge and this is how the world works. It's really cool too. Most characters in stories, when they're like ignorant to what's going on, they can very easily come across as annoying. And just like doing stupid crap constantly. But the way the story is like written in these games is like it doesn't really happen because characters acknowledge that they don't know what's going on and they try to do something about it instead of just not knowing what's going on and being a really annoying brat about it. Nice. Got some heal at least. Yeah, so really cool. This game also like really adds variety with the puzzles. Soul Reaver 1 was just block puzzles, and I didn't mind that when I played it. Just because like it was still fun. It was still fun to do. This game they really tried to make every puzzle different and unique, which is cool, but in taking that risk, you know, there were like a few puzzles that I felt were like really dragged out. But I don't mind it in the long run. In the moment it's annoying, but in the long run it's like, it's because you were trying something unique, you know. You're trying to do something cool and different. Gotcha. Also no boss fights, right? Which, you know, makes sense. It's hard to just make a unique puzzle. Throughout the game, every puzzle has completely different mechanics and stuff. Imagine layering that with unique bosses too on top. That's just overkill. That's tough. I always forget which way is back to the fortress. The swamp area is always the beginning of getting lost for me here. No idea. Going through... This is where the boy is up on Vorador's castle. I think this is the way, if I remember correctly. Down here, and then you jump in the hole, and then go through the swimming section. Yeah, there. I think this is the right path. We can run in water now, so this isn't going to be super long. Damn. I should have picked up that wind. Ooh. Got dicey. I thought I could just run in water. I think I have to have air on me to do that. Okay. Do I need to get up there? Okay. Turn this vent on. Why? Okay. Let's go. Let's go. I've made these runs so much that I know it was all for this moment. I don't think I need the fires yet. Actually, let's just hold on to it and not fall off the edge. Grab the fire. Because I don't know if there's going to be a fire thing by the lake. I think there is. I do remember there still being an empty pot thing. But, just to be safe. Just to be safe. That one was there, and I was curious about that one since the beginning of the game, dude. Your boy. And then this guy. I'm trying to understand this guy's role in all of this. If Mobius and them are like pawns on the evil side, is this guy the big
You
bad?
have failed me, Raziel.
I wonder, Old One. Did you truly resurrect me? Or were you simply there when I awakened from my torment in the abyss? I suspect you found me merely convenient, dropped in your lair by Kain, indestructible for some reason, a durable and gullible tool for you to manipulate. This one thing I readily admit. I have been used by others time and again, but always I seem to stray from their path. What is it about me, demon, that makes me such an unreliable instrument? Why do I survive one trial after another, on and on, in an endless succession of humiliating deaths and resurrections? It seems there is much more to my destiny and my history than I know. Perhaps more than you know as well.
His tentacles actually aren't up on the pillars. See that? And this time. So has it gone back down? What's happening there? Interesting. Okay, save twice. It is 2:30 a.m. Let's keep heading backwards. Yeah, his tentacles are lower, which is interesting. Now, and one thing that's interesting is he's always kind of like, he'll make a remark here and there, but like for the most part he's kind of just taking a back seat and letting Raziel do what he wants and say what he wants, which is interesting, right? That like you would think that if the one dude that's your only hope of like gaining power is like revolting against you and whatnot, you would be worried, but he doesn't. He never seems that way. Never seems worried or anything. Like he's fine with everything that's going on. But you wouldn't be in that situation. Like your one chance at freeing yourself or whatever is like slipping away. So I feel like he's kind of playing a game of his own too, and he's winning. He's kind of leading Raziel down something, and Raziel thinks he's one step ahead, and he's not buying into it, but I think he is still. And again, just like Raziel, us the player, don't know what that is. What is his goal? More big food. Oh no.
He thinks he can change his destiny. What a fool.
Does this do damage if I shoot? Ow. Ow. Ah, nah, can't win that. Oh, why did he hit me? Okay, well I hit that one in the back a little bit. it. Ow. That's not good. Ow. God damn, these guys are tough. Come on. I'm not getting a lot of help. Is that still coming towards me? It is. It is now, at least. Okay. There we go. There we go. I got dicey. They are sending the gauntlet after this man. Why now? All he's trying to, I guess, killing himself. He's trying to kill himself. I wonder if similar to like the Soul Reaver paradoxes, there could be a paradox with the same person in two different times interacting with each other, huh? And that's what they're trying to avoid? I'm trying to think about this now. If he kills himself, maybe that creates a paradox of Raziel's. If he kills himself with the Soul Reaver, a double paradox? I'm gonna hit a save real quick. If he kills himself without the Soul Reaver, then it's like that's just going according to destiny. If he kills himself with the Soul Reaver, or without the Soul Reaver, he's going with destiny. If he kills himself with the Soul Reaver, he rewrites everything in between the moment Raziel dies as a human and Soul Reaver 1. I don't know. Where the hell would I get 5 from? Over here. jeez. Is this lit up? Okay, it is. He would rewrite, yes, he would rewrite everything in between Raziel's human death and Soul Reaver 1. Oh, the end of Soul Reaver 1. I'm getting tired. Now, if he does that, he's potentially risking his whole existence. Because he could potentially erase or rewrite the part of time where Kain resurrects him as a vampire. I just gotta open it now. Well, what do I do here? So, I feel like that might happen. They did say, who is it? I think it's Janos that called Raziel a messiah. And then Raziel said he doesn't like that term because it reeks of martyrdom. Is that foreshadowing? That's what's gonna happen here. He's gonna end his entire existence here, both in this timeline and everything that comes after. Himself. To, rewrite history and potentially save Nazca. It seems like that's what they're hinting at, that they're foreshadowing. How the hell did that? Yeah, but I mean that's my best guess as to what's going down here. And maybe that's what the elder god dude wants. He wants Raziel to do that so he can wipe himself from existence. Maybe it doesn't save Nazca in rewriting history that way. It just gets rid of Raziel. See, I know the next game is called Blood Omen 2. And the trend is Blood Omen is a Kain game. And Soul Reaver is a Raziel game. Which I feel like might be a little bit spoilery. Well, I wouldn't say completely spoilery of how this game might potentially end, just because I also figured it out despite that. Just based off of what they've been foreshadowing with Raziel. I don't know. But I don't know. If the game ends that way, at least. Right. The enemies here, or we gotta go through the courtyard again. The courtyard is always loaded with dudes.
Suddenly and inexplicably, I discovered the Reaver suspiciously laid across my path. Again, I sensed nothing.
Oh, they
but
probably
temporal
took it from
distortion.
Janos' place.
The peculiar sense of displacement I had felt when I encountered the Reaver in William's chapel. Cornered here with the blade, I suffered the same nameless dread that I had experienced when Janos first
He is
presented
gonna
me
kill
to
himself
me.
with the blade, dude.
I felt at once repelled by the blade, and yet overwhelmingly compelled to seize it.
So, Raziel, here we are finally.
Ah.
You have no choice but to confront me now. And I am not so foolish as I've let you believe. We have business to conclude.
You knew I would lead the Seraphim to Janos, you vile bastard. You've been orchestrating my every move. My destiny is an amusement to you.
It was fun while it lasted. I think not, Raziel. Malik, do not let this creature leave. He poses a danger in the circle. Poor, deluded Raziel. Did you somehow imagine you had the guile to change history on me? I'm the Timestreamer. I knew your every intention before you did, you imbecile.
Huh.
Lord Mobius, there is trouble within.
That's why Malik didn't get there in time.
This one is the real danger to
Oh my god.
What are you trying to concoct here, Mobius?
you toxic creature. Did you imagine I'd simply allow you to run loose, corrupting everything you encounter?
I admit that I've underestimated you to this point, Mobius. But it's a mistake I won't repeat.
Wrong again, Raziel. Now, Malik, bolt the door.
And
Using
now
his
Malik
staff
goes
to
to
disable
fight
my
Vorador.
Reaver, Mobius effectively disarmed me, leaving me with only one choice of weapon. And yet I confess, it was not the lack of options, but blind rage that made me take up the Reaver. In my fury, it felt as though my hand had acted of its own will. And now, that same hand
this is
clutched the hilt with unyielding strength.
A little bit
And I felt
dangerous.
a constrained tingling, a remote but palpable sense of longing, as the disabled Wraithblade tried vainly to embrace its physical twin.
Which also might be part of Mobius' plan, forcing him to use the blade. That's really trying to repel him out of this timeline. But holy crap, okay. You know, the whole Vorador wasn't in on it then. That means, at least as far as we know right now. Because remember, I was theorizing that because, you know, coincidentally, the few people that did survive, you know, are the ones that really had an impact on the rest of Nosgoth's timeline without the events of Blood Omen 1. And now it like makes sense. This is why Malik was late. This is how they survived, because they were busy, preoccupied with Raziel and not Vorador.
Come to take your revenge, demon.
Back to hell with you!
I recognize these two as my former brethren,
Oh.
in life as Seraphim, and in unlife as Kain's vampire sons. Melchiah and Zephyr, the
Wow.
weakest of Kain's brood. These bastards had no idea what future lay in store for them, how they would become the very thing they so despised. The Reaver hummed with ravenous anticipation. Janos had called it a vampiric blade, endowed with the power to drain its victims of their lifeblood. I was eager to see what the Reaver would do to these two.
Yeah. Whoa. I'm not taking damage. This is they're both covering each other's attacks. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Block. Yeah. This is supposed to be like a moment where I'm just annihilating them with the Reaver, but I'm just getting flacked up. You know, the dodge is weird sometimes. It just doesn't sidestep far enough. He tracks hard, that's what it is.
As Melchiah and Zephon fell before my blade,
Yeah,
I
this,
felt the Reaver's bloodlust, as keenly as I
stupid.
ever had when I was still a vampire.
I'm supposed to just
I could
annihilate
sense
them.
the boundary between us dissolving. The Reaver was consumed with my rage, and I was intoxicated by its bloodlust. The blade had a vitalizing effect on me. My physical energy no longer decayed over time, and the wounds inflicted by my foes healed almost instantly. The Reaver had made me invincible.
The Reaver tried to kill him originally because he didn't want him in this timeline. But now it seems like the Reaver wants him to kill himself. Because instead of trying to kill him, it's empowering him so he can complete his mission, right? That's what I'm getting from this. Because the Reaver is sentient, right? It doesn't it's not controlled by this guy. It's acting out on what it feels is the right call. And it wants him to be able to make it all the way to human Raziel. This also explains how Mordor would manage
Have you come to
to
reclaim the monster's black heart?
You'll have to get to us
hold on.
first.
My former brethren, Duma and Rahab, confronted me
Ah.
next. This all seemed so elegantly choreographed. Exhilarated by the Reaver, I was drunk with revelations. I could finally appreciate the delicious irony of Kain's blasphemous private joke, and I reveled as I colluded with him across the centuries. For it was I who put these bastards in their tomb, thus providing the corpses for Kain to raise as his vampire sons a millennium from now.
Hang up on one. Ah, they grouped up there. Nice. But yeah, it also explains how Mordor managed to successfully invade the freaking Guardians, kill a few, and get out alive, right? It wasn't done solo. My dude had Raziel helping out, distracting.
Get back to the pit you crawled from, demon.
And here at last was my brother Turel, who along with Duma would bear me into the abyss without questioning Kain's command.
Yeah.
So dutiful and righteous, even as a vampire. I guess some habits die hard. The vampire Turel had eluded my vengeance. The
Oh yeah, we
Sarafan
never
Turel
fought him.
would not.
That was a combo. Range, dude. Alright. Face. Oh, not here. But over there. Do. What is this room again? It's the time chamber room? Ah.
So, vampire, here we are. You've destroyed my brethren, and now you've come for me. You'll find I'm not such easy prey. I don't want to kill, but I will if I must. Return the heart to me, and we can end this now. So, you've come to avenge that filthy parasite and reclaim his foul heart. You're a righteous
Look at this
thing,
shot.
aren't you? Apparently I am. No, vampire. This is where it ends. But you won't be leaving this room. Now, let's finish this. I'll make it mercifully quick. As you did for Janos? No, that beast had eluded us for far too long. It would have been a shame to end him too quickly. It's ironic, really. The great Janos Ordring turned out to be no challenge at all. Thanks to you. Did you hear his cowardly screams when I tore that black heart out of his carcass?
He egged himself on. Wow, they attack so fast. You know what it is? It's not that they attack fast, it's that the Soul Reaver attacks slow. Can't see the goddamn camera. some help. Wow, you got blocked. Sidestep this man. Break his guard. Aha! Damn, that was a crazy boss.
I renounce you.
I'm trying to make it cinematic, but I
And
think
so it
it
ends.
could have been executed a little
My
better.
history comes full circle.
Sensing its twin, the Wraith Blade uncoiled itself from me, and instead wound lovingly around its former self.
Only
Its
now,
grip
right?
loosen, and as the blade left me, its absence chilled me more than its presence ever had. A foreboding sense of emptiness and loss stole over me, and a terrible revelation gathered like a storm at the edge of my awareness.
Now it's gonna turn on.
With all
Okay.
other foes exhausted, the conjoined blades turned themselves on me, and I realized, finally, why I had sensed nothing when Janos offered me the blade. The Reaver was never forged to be a soul-stealing weapon. The ravenous, soul-devouring entity trapped in the blade was, and always had been, me. This is why the blade was destroyed when Kain tried to strike me down. The Reaver could not devour its own soul. The paradox shattered the blade. So, this was my terrible destiny. To play out this purgatorial cycle for all eternity. I could not bear it. Despair.
That's how the timeline loops.
You.
Are you enjoying this, Kain?
Don't fight it, Raziel. Give into it.
Was this your destiny for me all along?
Trust me.
I felt myself weakening, unable to hold on any longer. The Reaver was too strong. The compulsion to simply let go, too great. And then, a growing sense of vertigo and the familiar displacement. The paradoxical moment when my twin soul hovered both outside and inside the Reaver blade. This was the instant, the glimmer of temporal distortion Kain had been counting on all along. This was the edge of the coin, the minute flicker of probability upon which Kain had gambled everything.
Now you are free to reclaim your true destiny, Raziel.
Behind Kain's eyes, I could see new memories blooming and dying.
Yeah,
as
they changed
history
time.
labored to reshuffle itself
It's
around this
somewhat
monumental
as I
destruction.
thought. It's
And I could see by the dawning horror on his face that perhaps we had strained history too far this time.
huh.
That by trying to alter my fate, he may have introduced a fatal paradox.
My God. The Hilden. We walked right into their trap.
Hilden.
Raziel. Janos must stay dead.
But Kain's warning was lost as I slipped into the spirit realm, too weak to maintain my physical form. And there, waiting for me as always, was the Reaver, the Wraithblade, my own soul, twinned and bound eternally to me. And I realized that I could never escape my terrible destiny. I had merely postponed it. History abhors a paradox.
No way the game ends like that. Oh my god. Okay. Couple things. Right, big reveal is that the Soul Reaver was Raziel's soul the entire time. Well, that's not what necessarily that. So it was similar to what I thought about, there's a paradox with two Soul Reavers in the same time. There's a paradox with two Raziels in the same time. Yes and no, in that it's both, right? Because Raziel's soul is in the Soul Reaver, right? I thought it would be the human Raziel, the vampire Raziel. No, it's the soul of Raziel and the vampire Raziel. And the Soul Reaver plus the other Soul Reaver. It's like a double whammy, right? Which, again, kind of makes sense to the analogy. I'm gonna quit the game just because it's loud. But it makes sense to the analogy of landing on a coin's edge, because it's possible, but very low probability, right? And the thing with probabilities is the more factors you account, the more specific the situation, the harder or the lower the chance of it happening. The idea of Raziel's soul and the Soul Reaver plus Raziel the vampire with the condition of Soul Reaver, Wraithblade plus physical Soul Reaver is like very low probability, right? It kind of really ties into that whole analogy. And so he uses that moment to rewrite history at that point. So I imagine it is at this point in time, which is during Vorador's first massacre of the Guardians, to the end of Soul Reaver 1 that gets rewritten. And so that timeline, that the timeline in between these 2 points are rewritten, and Kain is now flooded with memories of this new time shift. And I assume Kain, but not Raziel, because Raziel is the catalyst for this happening. So, you know, he didn't get to experience how it changed time. Similar to how in Blood Omen 1, when you kill Willem in the past, Kain doesn't experience new memories because he was the one that caused the time change. At least that's what I think. So Kain gets new memories that fill in the gap now between Vordor's first massacre, or Vordor's massacre, to Soul Reaver 1. And in these new memories, apparently nothing goes to plan. Nothing goes to his plan. And I think he said the Hildens, they fell into the Hildens trap in doing that. And it was, they had calculated that, and as a result, I don't know, they're winning this duel of time and destiny. And now he says, before Raziel fades back into the soul world, Kain says that Janos has to stay dead. Okay, now we don't know why that is, right? And there's obviously there's no way to know why until we don't even know who the hell the Hildens are. But that'll obviously come in either the next game or whatever. So, okay. So time has been rewritten. But where they are in time, they're at the beginning of that rewriting. Right? They are at the point where Raziel kills himself, which is the start of the time shuffle. But that's where they are in time, but their beings are from the Soul Reaver 1 time. Well, not necessarily, right? We know Raziel is. We don't know if the Kain that we've been encountering in Soul Reaver 1 is of that time or even further into the future. So that's a potential thing going on there. That's why Kain, essentially though, this kind of, if I'm thinking about this correctly though, this kind of works in their favor, even though Kain is saying this puts them in a disadvantage because they're still in the past, but now they know how history plays out because Kain got those memories of what's going to go down. Because the memories he got would be from Raziel's killing himself to Soul Reaver 1. So unless, I don't know, I'd have to see what happens in the next game. How does it start off? Because we don't know how they're going to interact in this timeline because nothing visibly changed when they rewrote history there. Nothing visibly changed in the world, but we know something had to, of course. So it's like, well, what's happening there? I have to think about that. They rewrite history, and they're at the beginning of that rewriting. But he has memories of past that because he's technically from the past or the future of that. And so by the rules that they've laid out on how the time shuffle works is that it time shuffles in such a way that you have a perfect loop in the timeline so that whatever happens in between the start and end point of the time shuffle, make it so that the person that originally creates the time shuffle will always create the time shuffle again and again from that end point, traveling back in time to that starting point. So however the time... So Kain knows what happens in between the 2 points. And at some point, at the end point, him and Raziel time travel back to that start point again. And that might be the self that they are currently in now. That's the only way I can kind of explain it, because otherwise, like every other way I look at it, like, shouldn't the time stream spit them back out to their own time or something, right? Because you don't belong there. But the time stream could just keep playing off of that point in time to create that perfect loop in the timeline where they would travel back to the starting point. Interesting. So let's say that is the case. And so they're still in the past. And I don't know. The Hildens are trying to resurrect Giannis? Giannis has to stay dead. That's such a weird thing, right? Giannis has to stay dead. Is he saying Giannis has to stay dead because it affects the events of Blood Omen 1 or something? I don't know. Or is he saying Giannis has to stay dead because he's already seen to a point in time where in their exact moment they resurrect Giannis, which is their original plan, and then something goes wrong by doing that? And yeah, right. Because remember what I said, Kain knows everything that happens from point A to point B of the time shuffle. So he knows that maybe in the original time shuffle they resurrected Giannis here, and that had some kind of negative effect. Him now knowing that, because those memories filled his mind, is like, okay, we're still in the past here. Let's take this opportunity to not do that and do something different, because if Giannis is revived, something bad happens. Okay, I could see that. As to what would happen, don't know any of the implications of what he's saying, but I could understand how it's working with the rules, their rules of the time travel. And speaking of all these rules of time traveling and stuff, I gotta really give this game credit on that as well. Alright, because that's another thing I think is gonna get overlooked when you think of these games, is how many shows and games and whatever have time travel in them but never explain the rules. At the end of the day, time travel does not exist. Can't divide by 0. Right? multi-dimensional theory and all that is just a bunch of hoopla. So it's all when you're doing something like time travel, it's not like these predetermined rules that are based off of science or anything. No, because it doesn't exist, right? So if you're gonna add time travel to your story, you have to be the one that defines its rules. And some shows and whatever try to do this, but they always end up with plot holes, or they always end up with like inconsistent rules or contradicting rules of how time travel works. This series has done time travel very, very well. Very consistent with the rules, and it can still get complicated just because of the nature of time travel, but you can understand it based off of the rules that they've laid out for you, how it works. And again, that's very like advanced stuff. I think that's very good storytelling, because it's something that's so difficult to write into a story and to like avoid plot holes, to have consistency, you know. And they do it. They do really well done job there. But yeah, man, wow, this game ends on a huge cliffhanger. That is crazy. Ends on a crazy cliffhanger. I could still see how this is a decent stopping point, even though it's such a cliffhanger, because a lot of the story plot points and stuff start converging here. And so it's kind of almost, it's not a straight path forward, but you know, as straight a path forward as it'll ever be really here in a Legacy of Kain game. So pretty cool. The story of this game is like a 10 out of 10. Just like Soul Reaver 1, man, the story starts getting pushed hard, dude, and it's so beautiful. Puzzles, gameplay-wise, a lot of combat. A lot more combat than Soul Reaver 1, which I don't entirely hate. It was alright. Definitely added a different flavor. And as for the puzzles, again, I mentioned they tried to make every puzzle completely unique, and it wasn't just block puzzle spam, which is pretty cool, but in doing so, it had some janky puzzles. All in all, though, I think I still give this game a 10 out of 10. My only one possible complaint would be on some of those puzzles being a little janky. And I could let it slide, because the trade-off is a little bit of jank, a little bit of really stalled puzzles, but you gain unique puzzles for every forge, and honestly, I think that's a favorable trade. I think that's an upgrade. So I can't really knock that. I can't really knock a point off because of that. So I mean, I think I still give this game a 10 out of 10, because every other aspect of the game, the story, the pacing, the world, the gameplay, the combat's a little janky, but I mean, combat is clearly not a focal point of this game, so I don't care about that. Pretty good. Like, no complaints there. 10 out of 10 again, dude. Like, I did hear that the next game is a little bit rough or whatever. I don't know what that means exactly, but that's fine. I always go into these things with like zero expectations, zero influence. And just this game and the last game combined, it's such a well-told story. It's interesting that the next game, what I assume is going to be a Kain game, though, because it doesn't feel like Raziel's story is over here. I assumed it was because he would be dead at the end of this. I guess that was wrong. My theory there was wrong, but he's not dead. But if it is a Kain game next, why? Trying to understand. because it still feels like Kain has to pay, at least work alongside Raziel. But ultimately, Raziel is the one that's going to save Nazgûl. So I don't know what the decision is there on making Kain. I guess we'll see when we get there. There could be something I'm overlooking here. But yeah. 10 out of 10 game. Really cool ending there. Really cool final puzzle. I liked it. A lot more straightforward, but still forced you to think a decent bit too. Anyway, it is 3:18 a.m. I am going to upload this VOD. I'm going to take a break. Next playthrough will be MGS 2. And then I'll jump back into Blood Omen 2. I think. And depending on how that goes, I might either go right into the last game, which is Defiance, or I take a break after that again and swap back to MGS 3, alternate. That depends. Depends on how those games shake out. But definitely right now, I will take a break from Legacy of Kain and play something else on this channel. Anyway, it's bedtime. I'm ending stream. Haha.